Hello and welcome to another episode of Tickling Chains. We're out here at Royal Palm Beach, Florida at Commons Park. Commons Park is a par 57, 6,163 foot course, but we are not playing that. Oh no, today's episode is going to be big. So big, in fact, it's going to be the biggest hole ever played in Florida at 3,000 feet. That's right, you heard me correct, 3,000 feet. And there's only one man I could think of to take on this challenge with me, local disc golf legend, the reason why we have most of our courses here in Palm Beach County, Florida, the champion of our water game, Dan Rigg. Also playing and on the commentary is myself, Trent Pendergast. We'll see how this goes. This challenge has been done once before by Simon Lizotte. I'll link that in the description so you can compare the two games. That being said, let's get out there and sling some D. All right, let me talk you through the hole. We've got an initial gap of trees right here. We've got to work our way through. Then it gets into a nice big open spot. If you played Commons Park before, we're playing holes 4 all the way down through 11. So you know it's going to be treacherous because there's going to be water all the way up our trek on the right-hand side. We're also going to have little tight gaps of windows with all these trees we've got to deal with as we work our way up through the course. We also have all the way on the left-hand side rows of houses. So our fairway is not going to be very wide. We've got to work ourselves through. So we're going to see how we can manage getting through these challenges of trees and the tight windows. Hopefully we can manage to stay in these big open spaces, because if we don't, we're going to have some tricky shots we're going to have to work our way through. As you can see, the fairway undulates from being relatively wide to very narrow. And of course, we've got a little window to work through right here as we get to our last little trek of time, as we get our first look at the basket we're aiming towards. And here we have it, once again guarded by trees, and here's where we're ending up at hole 11. Here's the final measurement of the hole at 3,010 feet. I actually think it's longer because we did not take this direct route to the basket. We essentially made a big L all around that water, but we'll call it 3,010 feet anyways. Here I go, teeing off first. Hopefully I can get through this initial gap. Oh yeah, nice drive by me. Really happy with that. Would have been really rough starting off hitting a tree right off the bat. Thankfully, I appeared that line. Here comes Dan. He's going to go a little more of a turnover, get some good turn on it. He's using a really stable disc. The other thing we've got to deal with is the wind is blowing from left to right pretty hard on our screen. And as we get to the water, here comes Dan's second shot. It's a touch higher than he'd like, but he'll end up safe. The wind itself is actually going to blow our discs towards the water. Here comes my second shot. I'm aiming right for that big tree. Grip lock. Getting that turn too much to the right. And a theme for the day, once again, if you see me play before, hitting that tree, I'm onto my third, and there's that water I talked about. And here's the wind I talked about, blowing my disc directly to the right. Barely sticks on that little peninsula. But as you can see, as we look at Dan's third shot, we're going to have to deal with that water all the way up the hole. We've also got a lot of little trees that are going to be a nuisance, and of course, it's going to be narrow. Saw how close I ended up to water there. Thankfully, it kind of spike-hyzered. I'm going to go way to the left of the fairway. I'm going to see two different lines here. Dan's going to keep it pretty much straight and end up in the fairway most of the time. I'm going to be bouncing all around this yard. Speaking of nuisance trees, here's where I ended up in between two little ones. I'm going to peer that line, but it's going to hyzer a little to the left. Once again, being in those trees, hopefully I have an open look. And Dan here, nice in the middle of the fairway. Gets a little too much turn on his disc. Thankfully caught a little bit of that tree. He'll be safe. Look close to the water. He's going to go another turnover shot here. Ooh, wind is blowing it. All right. He's safe because it got caught in the tree. Here's where I ended up, way to the left. I'm going to get around these trees, and I'll actually end up in a nice open spot there for my next shot. Dan's disc got caught in this tree, luckily not in the water. He's going to play himself safe out back into the open. All right, here I am with my next shot. Finally out in the open where I can go full mashed potatoes on this disc. Nice shot by me. Going to stay straight. Hopefully that continues as I go. Dan's a little bit cut off by these trees, but beautifully works some way through. Again, he's going a little Anheuser angle, using a stable disc and working it to the left. I don't have that technique yet in my game, but we're going to work on it. Here I go again. Once again, caught in between some nuisance trees. I'm going to go over some trees so I can get back out in the open. Dan's next shot, he's going to go big water carry here. Awesome shot. He crushed this disc. Looks much further in person than it does on video. That was a smash. I'm going to try to do the same. Oh, yeah. Felt really great out of my hand there. 2 great shots by us. It's going to come back with that Anheuser line for Dan. Nice and high. He'll be in a good spot. Once again, it's no real straight shot. We always got to work through some trees or worry about the water. And that's going to do me in here. A little bit to the left. Once again, Dan just keeping it on the fairway. Watch out for those walkers, people. Going to do a nice hyzer shot, hanging it out over the water again. Really trusting his disc. Great job there. Scrambies! Luckily, I hit a tree, or else it would have been out of bounds. I'm going to do a little scramble mode here. Just get some flick out. It's going to end up right by this giant tree. Once again, nothing's easy. And Dan wide out in the open, hanging out over the water again, trusting that disc to come back. Beautifully done. Stand wide open in that middle. I'm stuck behind this giant tree, so I'm going to have to go super stable disc, hanging out over the water. It comes back, but not as far as I'd like, so I'll be in a tricky spot. Here we see Dan once again, working his way around some trees. Nicely done. Clappies. Nice. He likes it. Trying to go big Anheuser here. Doesn't quite get the full flight out of it. So we're going to be on 2 different sides of the fairway now. I'm going to be on the back half of the fairway, working my way back. More tree. We're actually approaching the basket now. Dan's got to work his way through this little window and vegetation, plop. He'll be at an open look. I'm thinking to myself, I can make this little window. Tree. Nope, cannot work my way through that window. Dan gonna go again. Tree. Once again, there's no real open line except for right here, and I just decided to throw it directly into this tree. Trying to work my way all the way down because at the end of this fairway is the basket. Here's our first actual look at the basket. Dan's going to do a little flick approach here. First sidearm of the day for any of us. Going to end up a little bit of a left. He'll have about a 30-foot putt. I've had enough of trees. I'm going to go over the trees here. Huge spike hyzer. Can't really see the disc, but I'm going to end up about 15 feet away. So here we go. Finally, some putts. We'll see what we end up with here. Dan's about 33 feet away. Dink! Front cage. He's going to tap in his. Nicely done. Here I go with my putt. What? Oh my God. Spit out. After all that, let's take another look. Right in the chains. Right through the chains. What a heartbreaker as I worked my way all the way up that giant hole. What a giant dagger to finish out the hole. All you can do is raise your hands and drop in your last putt. Here's our final scores. Dan ended up with an 18. I ended up with a 20. Before we started, we decided it would be a par 14 hole. We may have to revisit that as I watch this tape. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support of the channel. And if you keep watching them, I'll keep making them. Thanks again to Dan Rigg for joining me on this adventure. He's awesome to play with. He's also a legend. We took on the 3,000-foot hole challenge. Did we win? Who knows? We had a heck of a lot of fun. And we also did not lose any discs on that giant lake of water all the way up the right-hand side of the hole. We did have one unfortunate spit out, but we won't talk about that anymore. That's it for today. We'll see you next time. Until then, sling 'em straight and tickle those chains. Peace.